hear this. Rising sea levels will put 2.5 million Americans at risk of severe coastal flooding by 2050. A brand new report out from Climate Central warns this will impact 1.4 million homes, and you might be in one of them right now. The highest number of people and homes at risk are in Florida, New York, and New Jersey. The report says these regions are vulnerable to the so-called 100-year floods, which have a 1% chance of occurring each year. To explain all this, I'm joined by Kelly Van Baalen here in Studio 57. She's a project manager on the Sea Level Rise team at Climate Central, and it's great to have you with us on a day that this report is being published. Walk us through what you found and what's driving this sea level rise.
Thanks for having me. So with this report, we looked at the people and homes that are in areas that will be exposed to sea level rise-driven coastal flooding in the coming decades. We found 2.5 million people, 1.4 million homes that are currently situated in areas that will be at risk from that 100-year flood in 2050. We found that risk concentrated in areas that either have a lot of people concentrated at the coast, like New York and New Jersey, or areas with high rates of sea level rise and which are impacted by high coastal floods, usually from hurricanes like Florida.
And viewers should certainly head to your website and check out this report to see how their hometown or where they live is impacted. Yeah. One of the things that you found is that Florida has the greatest number of older Americans living in places where sea levels will rise. Talk to us about the challenges that will present. Yeah,
so older Americans are both disproportionately exposed to coastal flooding, so there are more of the people at risk, more of them are seniors than the proportion of seniors that live in coastal states in general. And they're also disproportionately vulnerable to coastal flooding, which means that they might have trouble evacuating, they might have issues being able to do some of the adaptation that that's available to other people, like raising a home might present issues to someone with mobility problems. And also seniors tend to have a lot of their wealth concentrated sometimes in a retirement home on the coast, so they can be also financially more vulnerable.
Yeah, older folks always want to live on the beach, and they're at risk. Your data also found there's a risk in Massachusetts, in Louisiana. So what can people do? Let's say they check out your report, they're in a tough zone. What could be done to protect against this?
Yeah, so we have a tool online called Coastal Risk Finder where people can explore the risk to their town, their county, their state. And that also includes a bunch of resources on solutions, what an individual person can do to prepare for coastal flooding. And that ranges from really small, kind of easy to do things like finding out where you can get evacuation alerts all the way up to something like raising your home. And it's a good resource that points to a lot of other trusted resources like FEMA or the Red Cross. And then we also include briefs on adaptation efforts that are happening at the state and local level across the country.
Yeah, Kelly, this is so important. I wonder how the reaction you get to friends and family when you talk about what you do. It's a bit of a bummer, but I would hope that this is an easier thing for all of us to talk about so people can be protected. How can people talk about this in an easier way?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly 2.5 million people is a staggering number, and it's a scary amount of risk, but the kind of double-edged sword with sea level rise is that we know that it's coming pretty far in advance. It takes a long time between the global warming happening and the sea level rise and the increased coastal flooding happening, and that can make it hard to motivate people to prepare, but it also gives us a long time horizon to think about what we can do about it. It gives us time to build seawalls, raise houses, choose to build in other areas, and make plans.
Get out of the way. Great. Can't say you haven't been warned. Kelly Van Baalen, thank you so much for doing this work and joining us today.
Thanks for having me.